Well, welcome back. If you are new here, I'm so glad that you've joined us. My name is Beth, and I travel full-time in this beautiful van with my cat, Apollo. And today's adventure is a very special one. Jason is actually taking me to visit some of his old stomping grounds. We're gonna go exploring and hike up to the Steelhead waterfalls, and I love waterfalls. If you have watched any of my other episodes, you know that I have explored waterfalls all through Tennessee, multiple states, and if you've been following from the very beginning, then you know that my very first video I ever did for YouTube was actually hiking to Tunnel Falls here in Oregon. So the fact that we get to explore his old stomping grounds at yet another waterfall in Oregon is pretty amazing. He actually lived on the Deschutes River ranch and would hike up to these falls. He let me know that this is a really strenuous hike that we're doing, and I looked on All Trails because he couldn't remember how long the hike was. All Trails says it's 2 miles, but Jason has informed me this is not the All Trails trail. This is the Primal Outdoors trail, which means that we will be doing a much longer hike because he's taking me to start the trail from where he used to back in the day. So I'm not sure what this means. He said I should pack a lunch or at least some snacks. Wish me luck. It's gonna be a lot of fun, and we have beautiful weather today. It's gonna be 63, which is weird for February, but that's what's happening. And I'm not complaining because I love it. So I'm excited for today's adventure. We're getting ready to approach the Steelhead Falls trail, but we are actually going to camp somewhere a little further from the trailhead and actually hike into the trail from our campsite. Jason hasn't been here in a few years, so he's not quite sure where or what it's going to look like just because so many things have changed. But it's always an adventure when you're looking up something new, and today's no different. Right now we really lucked out. There's only a couple cars here, but it is a Wednesday morning in the middle of February, and there are some campground spaces down ahead. So we're gonna come check out if this campsite area is even open, because as I have seen from earlier videos, just depending on the time of the year, it's just not always the case, but it looks like there might be. We'll see. And it doesn't look like anybody is camped around here. So we might get a good spot since we get to have more of a first choice, it looks like. I'm telling you guys, if you can visit places off season, it is so much better. There's nothing worse than going on a hike and you're in a line of people or you're sweating because it's 100 degrees outside. But it looks like we're gonna have a 63-degree weather hike for us and a campground all to ourselves, which is pretty awesome. Well, this is the very last campsite, and it's obviously the biggest as well because we can fit 2 vehicles. So it's somewhere that we both can camp, and it looks like we'll be pretty level, which is nice. This looks like a good spot to me.
Yeah, I think so. I think we can camp here. I mean, it definitely looks like there's a fire pit and stuff down here, and I don't see anything that says we can't camp in this spot. But this is a bit of a turnaround here as well.
Yeah, it fits both the vans, and everything else would probably be better for one. But I mean, there is a sign, it just says you can't have campfires through the summertime. So I think we're good.
Yeah, I think this should be great.
Awesome, love it. All right, let's come check out our little spot here that we have. Looks pretty nice. Nice level spot. Plenty of room for both of our rigs. And the most important thing is that they're both level, which I love. Easy access to the trail. There are pit toilets down at the beginning. Just a short little walk down this hill though, and you have a nice big open area to have a campfire. There's actually a couple spots down here. This is beautiful. What do you think? Ben's liking it. He's excited. And then there's a little trail coming down to this area over here. But let's see, I think that there's the river down here actually. I hear water. Are you freaking kidding me? This is what we're camped right next to. We are by this beautiful river. We're hiking to some waterfalls, and this right here is all free. Somebody pinch me. This is going to be a good day. To the waterfall, guys. I'm gonna hike down there, but it's gonna get super loud, but I wanted to show you these before I head on down. These are the Steelhead Falls off the Deschutes River. Just stop for a quick lunch before we start hiking straight up that hill, and we're gonna go up along the ledge for quite a ways before we come back down, and then end up following our way back down to where we parked and camped. But it's been pretty cool, and Jason used to live up over there, and so he would hike down from this area quite a bit, so he's showing me all the places. But right now we're having some lunch. We had pepper jack cheese, Triscuits, tomatoes, pickled pickles, beef sticks, and of course Nerds gummy clusters, because who cannot have these, right?
Pickled pickles? Aren't they just pickles?
No, they are. They're pickled in a special brine, okay? Just like all the other vegetables. I guess they're pickled cucumbers, technically.
Well, that's what pickles are.
I know. I've made them, but okay, fine. We have pickled cucumbers, aka pickles. Is that better? I ended up having to discard my outer layer. It is definitely 63 degrees minimum up here. It is sunny and hot and does not feel like February, but the day is beautiful and the views are priceless. It's an absolutely perfect day for a hike. Are you trying to kill me with all this incline again?
Up a little bit, maybe.
Little workout?
Yeah, there's another cool pinnacle rock over there, but it's not as big as this one.
Yeah, this one's pretty neat.
Yeah, there's like, it's hard to see with our cameras, but a little messed up there. But
can you breathe okay? You doing all right?
Barely.
Barely.
Trying
to catch your breath?
I don't know, what was it when I used to live here like 10, 15 years ago. I came up and down this all the time, but haven't been hiking like this.
Finally have made it down back by the river. I'm really wishing I'd worn my Apple Watch to know how many miles we have hiked. But we left like 11:30 and I think it's 2:30 now. And we've just turned around and are headed back. But usually on the way back I'm much faster. I always say I'm like a horse to the barn. Just get me back there real quick. Is it fun to be back here for you?
Very fun, yeah. Very fun. I mean, I lived here for so long, had this all the time, but I feel like I didn't appreciate it like I am appreciating it now, not being here for a while. And I'm glad you're enjoying it. It's always fun to take someone to somewhere that's very special to you and have them really enjoy it as well.
I think that this area is my favorite. I turned the corner and I could not believe how beautiful this spot is. Jason said it's called Goose Hollow that we're coming up into. But you have the rocks, the river, and in the background you could see the spheres. It's so peaceful through here, just listening to the water while you hike. Good morning. Hi. Kind of cloudy and rainy out, huh? This morning, I just kind of wanted to have a quiet morning, regroup some of my thoughts. And I had a really good day yesterday, and we were just sharing stories about memories that we had of places we've used to live, the good and the hard memories. Yeah, it just brought up a lot of feelings and thoughts, and this morning it's been nice just to take some quiet time and process through some of that. I think sometimes it's easy to push down feelings or emotions and memories. It might be easier to push those down, but it doesn't mean that's healthy. I don't think you should dwell on them, but I think recognizing them and acknowledging them and moving forward are healthy ways to do that. I just wanted a little extra time this morning to do that for myself, and I'm really glad I did. Being able to turn on some quiet, calming, like healing worship music has been just really soothing for my soul. And the coffee definitely helps as well. But just taking a minute sometimes instead of rushing into the busyness and the chaos of our days is what I need. I read a little thing back in the day that said, take the time to exchange whispers with God before shouts with the world. And I try my hardest to sit and do devotions every morning and have quiet time before I start my day, because once it gets busy, it's very loud. It just helps calm everything so I have a better perspective to face my day. It's kind of what I needed after yesterday. I'm thankful that I get to take a quiet minute this morning and exchange my whispers and thoughts with God right now, and just kind of quiet my soul before the rest of my day begins. Well, it is definitely weird to have this weather. It's so bipolar, from the sunshiny in the mid-60s yesterday to today, where it's just foggy and misty, and there is snow coming in a couple days. It's crazy, the changes. But I kind of feel like sitting back in a reflective state. It's a little bit how yesterday felt to me. There are chapters to each of our stories that feel like they're a lifetime ago, but they were such a part of our lives then and such a huge part of who we are today. And so just trying to share some of that with each other and talking about that, like for myself, just made me realize there are good chapters and there are hard chapters, and that is our book of life, our story of who we are. It made me all the more excited to work on this book, and I've been working on the first several chapters, and I'm feeling excited about it and nervous about it, but at the same time, it's my story and it's the makeup of who I am today. And I think our past doesn't define us, but it definitely plays a big part of who we are and why we are the way that we are. You know, I can grow stronger from those things. I don't have to hide them or push them aside. I can come out stronger on the other side of it. And I think that just between yesterday and this morning, that's helped me understand that a little bit better about myself. That feels really deep to be sharing all of that so early this morning. But that's part of my chapter. That's where I'm at right now. That's what's going on in my mind and what I've been thinking about. So I wanted to share that with you. But I appreciate you coming along on today's journey. Subscribe if you haven't already. Like and comment below if you enjoyed this video. And until the next adventure, I'll see you then.